In this video, we will discuss about mucin and glycocalyx. So this how this mucin change the morphology of the cells that is shown in the top side or uh, top side of this slide, and how this glycocalyx plays a role in the cell-cell interaction, and finally helps in the EMT in the case of tumor progression. Uh, is shown in the bottom side of the panel. So we will start with the top side of the panel, or top figures, that is about how this mucin plays a role in the cell uh, morphology. So the panel A of the top figure, or top side, or we can say panel A of the top side of this slides represents this represent the figure of this mucin, that and the protein backbone is represented with the help of this black line, and it is decorated by the sugar side chain. Another name of the sugar side chain is the carbohydrates, or we can say that the glycans. And so these are been and these glycans are glycosylated glycans are present on this protein backbone of the mucin, and it is bound to the cell surface membrane with the help of this membrane anchor. And when they are present in the low density, as we can see here in the panel C, it can take this kind of shapes, and this will lead to the change in the structure. As we can see that it will change the structure from flat to being slightly curved shape. And with the increase in density, it will that also because of the increase in the mucin expression, there is a energy minimization occurs, or we can say the cells will try to cells will try to equilibrate themselves at the low entropy condition, and they will form this tubularization or lifting kind of structure. And this will reduce, or this will affect the cell-cell interaction, as now cells will not be able to directly interact with the other cells, as the mucin will play a role, or mucin will play a role to, or mucin will provide a resistance between cell-cell direct interaction. And these things, and this idea is been further exaggerated in the case of this glycocalyx. So glycocalyx is usually been found in not even in the healthy cells, but this layer of glycocalyx is very thin, and the cell-cell interaction is usually done with the help of this integrin. So this integrin will be able to we can say surpass the thickness of this thin glycocalyx, and can do the cell-cell interaction. However, when because of some epigenetic changes or some mutation within the cells that usually occurs when the cells are in the cells are progressing towards being it towards converting themselves into the tumor cells. So at this case, what happens, the thin glycocalyx layer, the glycocalyx thin layer will start to increase and become thick, as we can see in the panel B, the thick glycocalyx layer. So it will prevent, and this thickness will increase to that extent that the integrin will not be able to overcome this thickness and do the cell-cell interaction. However, there is some kind of kinetic traps occurs, where multiple integrin will prevent this glycocalyx thickness extension. However, these things will not be able to survive for a longer duration, and as the cells are progressing towards being tumorous cells, there are several mutations that promote the glycocalyx thickness increase in the glycocalyx thickness, such as this RAS mutation, or GALNT7 mutations, and also the CRAS mutation, that will promote the glycosylation, or that will promote the glycosylation. For example, the overexpression of the O glycosylation will leads to the extension of the O glycans in this glycocalyx thickness layer, and that will promote the further extension or further increase in the thickness of this glycocalyx, thereby these integrins will not be able to withstand that much force or that much pressure by the factors that are trying to increase the thickness of this glycocalyx, and that will leads to the we can say EMT transition, or the cell-cell interaction will get decreased because the integrins will not be able to perform their roles that plays essential role in cell-cell interaction, and that will cause the EMT or epithelial to mesenchymal transition, and or in other terms we can say that will cause metastasis, and this will leads to the spread of the cancer from one part of the body or one part of the uh, host to the other part of the host. So if you need to understand more about this mucin and glycocalyx function, you can go through the reference that has been provided in the description. That's all for this video. Thank you for your time.